Hello, in this video we're going to look at interpreting box and whisker plots. Here we have a box and whisker plot of the average winter temperature. And so we're going to test our little reading skills. What is the lowest temperature? The lowest temperature is 5 because this is my lower extreme. Okay, so this is my lowest is 5. What's my highest? Hopefully you said 55 because that's my upper extreme. So that's my highest temperature. Can you tell me what the middle 50% is? The middle 50% is between what and what? Okay, the middle 50% is always my box. The box part of my box and whiskers. So the middle 50% is between 20 and 35. And so let me back up a bit. A box and whiskers is based on quartiles. You have an upper quartile, a lower quartile, your median. And quartile sounds like the word quarter, and we know that a quarter, there's 4 quarters in a dollar, and if we did percent, that would be 25. Because 0.25 as a decimal turns into 25%. So from 5 to 20 is 25%. From 20 to 27 is 25% of the data. From 27 to 35 is 25% of the data. And from 35 to 55 is 25% of the data. Okay? So if we had 12 numbers, if we had 12 different temperatures, and each one of these, now remember a quarter, 25% is a quarter or 1/4. So if I divide this by 4, that means each section represents 3 temperatures. Each section would represent 3 temperatures. Even though this space looks smaller than this one, there are still 3 temperatures. So 3 of the days, the temperature was between 27 and 35. 3 of the days, the temperature was between 35 and 55. All right, so if I asked you 25% of the days the temperature was below this number, 25% was below this number, you would say, I would hope you'd say 20, because 25% is below it, and 25, 50, 75 is above it. Okay, let's try another one. 25% of the month's temperatures were above this number. 25% were above this number. Could it be 20? No, because there's 25, 50, 75 above. Could it be 27? No, because there's 25, 50% are above that number. What about 35? 35, oh, there's only 25% of the data above that. So 25% of the data is above the number 35. That's different ways that you can read and interpret a box and whiskers. You have to know where the data is, what percent of the data, how many of the scores are represented in that. And now I'm going to talk about something else that they sometimes ask you to do. Sometimes they ask you to estimate the mean, and there's 2 ways to do it. One way is to take the 5 numbers from my box and whiskers, so 5 plus 20 plus 27 plus 35 plus 55, and I'm going to divide it by 5 because there are 5 data points. 5 plus 20 is 25. 25 plus 35 is 60. 60 plus 55. 60 plus 55 is 115 plus 27. Okay, so 115 plus 27, 2, carry the 1, 4, 142. And now I need to divide that by 5. I'm going to take out my eraser and clear myself some room. Okay, so I'm going to do 142 divided by 5. 5 goes into 14 2 times. Bring down my 4, bring down my 2. 5 goes into 42 8 times. And 5 goes into 20 4 times. So an estimate of my mean would be 28.4. Now there's actually an easier way to do this. This is another way that box and whiskers are nice. The rule is, if you look at the box part of your box and whisker, your mean falls in the larger section. So the larger section would be this box here, because this side of the box and whiskers is bigger than this side. It covers more numbers. It covers the range from 27 to 35. So my mean is somewhere between 27 and 35 would be a good estimate. Well, 28.4 is between 27 and 35. They usually ask for an estimate, and they give you multiple choice, so you would pick a number that's between 27 and 35 on that one. Let's look at another one. Okay, penguin migration. So the penguins either travel 15 miles, 25, 40, 67, or 100 miles on their migration track. Okay, and if I asked you 25% traveled more than this amount, 25% traveled more than this amount, you would say, I hope you'd say 67. 50% traveled further than this distance. Well, 50% is always your median. So 50% traveled 40 miles or more, or 50% traveled 50 miles or less. Now, put an X where you think the mean would fall. I hope you said here. So the mean's between 40 and 67. Now, I don't want you to think that the mean is always on the right-hand side of the box. So let's quickly look at a different box and whisker. So I'm going to click on this, and let me get a rectangle. There's my rectangle. And I'm going to get a line, and there's my line. There we go, there we go. And let's just come up with some numbers. Let me shut this box here. Let's say this is 3, this is 5, this is 12, 14, and 16. And this could be, I don't know, the number of baskets you made in a game. So for this data, the fewest number of baskets you made was 3. The most baskets you made was 16. 25% of my baskets were above this number. 25% of my baskets were above this number. I hope you said 14. 25% above. Okay, how about 25% of my data is below this number? 25% of my number is below this number. And that would be the 5. The middle 50% is between. The middle 50% is always my box. So that's going to be between 5 and 14. Now, if you had to estimate the mean, what two numbers would the mean be between? Let's look at our box. This side definitely looks bigger than this one. So my mean is between 5 and 12. Now, if it's really hard to tell, for instance, if I have a box and whiskers where the mean looks like it's right in between, if this was 5 and this was 8 and this was 12, well, I could do the range. From here to here is 3, from here to here is 4. So this side is bigger. Or you could go back to the original approach, which is to take the 5 data points from your box and whiskers, add them together, and divide by 5. I hope this helps make sense of interpreting box and whiskers.